Why do January and February both come after December? Because after the financial trauma of December expenses, you're wary of every cent that leaves your wallet. Hi, I'm Maria, and hopefully your purse isn't actually as traumatized as all that. Welcome back to my channel. It's finally time to set up for January in our bullet journals. This year, I'll be going with blue florals and patterned paper for my theme. Since I'm short on space, my yearly, January and general readings journal setups overlap somewhat. So even though they all have their own feel and flavor, you'll be seeing some similar elements in each. In fact, the bicycle image you see me adding to the top right hand corner is from the same decoupage paper set as the images I used for my general setup. However, as my previous layouts were heavily inspired by a Parisian concept, I wanted to make the January pages feel more classical, with the merest hint of perhaps Edwardian or Victorian aesthetic. I don't know, I'm just going with it. The blue flower pictures are also from a set of decoupage paper, but separate to the Parisian lot. The image of the large door with flowers bursting forth really gave me the feel of new life and new beginnings. And combined with the quote I added, it just felt appropriate, considering I'm undergoing the lovely challenge of starting up my own business. This is a completely new experience for me, and the learning curve is huge. So hopefully it reminds me to keep pushing forward even when things feel overwhelming. And to not procrastinate, that one's important too. Another point to seriously appreciate about the cool tones of this theme is how it contrasts with what I'm actually feeling right now. See, I know it's cold and snowy up north, but here in the southern hemisphere I'm melting. And we don't have air conditioning, so the blues and greys and off-whites are really helping to at least trick my brain into thinking it's cooler than it is. Come January, I'm going to need all the tricks I can get. Send some snow my way, will you? My cat Puppies came to check that I was doing the job right. Too bad he didn't stay longer, because I made a couple of mistakes starting right after this. Personally, I prefer a large calendar in my journal since I don't use daily or weekly spreads. I write everything on my calendar and still like to cross out the days as I go. This is just a more practical way for me to do my planning because I never use separate planning spaces in that way, even if they are there. planned the setup wrong, and thankfully it worked out in such a way that I could still fix it, but it was close. I was supposed to have 4 columns on the right page and only 3 on the left, but I drew 4 on both. At first I couldn't figure out what about this felt off, and then I thought I'd just add a note space on the far right column, and that would fix it. But as I finished the spread with all its decorations, as I was about to start putting in the numbers on the days of the calendar, I realized what was wrong. January starts on a Thursday, and I left that block out on the left page because it was supposed to be the first column on the right page. As I added the note space where the Sunday column should have been, I ended up with too few blocks in the Thursday column. Thankfully, the decorations worked out in such a way that there was room to fix it. These next pages are for my general statistics from my trackers for this month. We'll set up those in a moment. Like I said before, I know some people are a little tired of trackers. Please be patient with me if that's the case for you. I still need them. Then it's on to my content planner. Since I'm still new to all of this, I thought I'd put in a space to plan out what I need to do, when and where, so that I don't get confused and fall behind. Ideally, the focus space on the next page would be for learning new things during the month, but for January I'm already learning plenty, so that will mostly be used as additional note space. I highlighted every second line with what was supposed to be a paper brown highlighter that came out surprisingly yellow. I did it freehand, as you can see, and it didn't go well when I tried to do the same thing on the left page. So I decided to paste line paper over it. It looks much better. I actually prefer line journals. I've never used dot grid journals before, and this is the first time I'm using a sketchbook as a journal. Next up are my personal notes pages. The whole left page is for gratitude, and then the right page is divided between accountability, notes on what's happening in the world, and notes about small successes. I came across these sorts of spreads some years ago, watching the content of Joshie Corrin, Erin Smith, Anna Bruns, and Anna from Journal Away. Shout out to all of them. I don't know how popular these sorts of spreads are, but I found them very useful, and so I will continue to use them this year as well. The layout of the second page's decoration was inspired by the layout you sometimes find in manga spreads when an author is setting the mood or scene and they split the view of something between different panels, like lists. The image is also from the same Parisian decoupage paper used in the general setup, literally just torn into 3 equal pieces and spread across the page. I felt like it made the mood a little more cozy that way. The little golden blocks were added to the first lines of the gratitude section, kind of like bullet points. I thought it would be a fun way of listing all the things I'm grateful for, but with how yellow the highlighter turns out on these pages, I wasn't really that happy with it. It'll just have to do. So I forgot to clean my ruler, and so halfway down the page, each time I highlighted a second line, the ruler left a dirty mark in the line, and that irked me a little. Thankfully, it's not that clear on the video. Let me know down in the comments below what some of your favorite spreads are in your journals and what techniques you use in terms of color and so on to counter seasons you don't like. Are there any seasons you don't like? images onto my trackers. I got the idea for this format from One Sunday Studio here on YouTube. Be sure to check out her channel if you haven't already. I made these in Excel with charts and then grouped in icons I found on the internet that represent the things that I want to keep track of, which is why the images are covered with black circles. I printed these out for the full year's worth before I started up my channel, and since we don't like wasting, I'm still going to use them, but I also don't want to get copyright strike, so I'll just black them out like this. The idea is to color in a block around the circle once a day based on a color-coded key that you create that then helps you keep track of whatever it is you're keeping track of. For me, the first and second pages of what can affect my mental state on a day-to-day basis: weather, mood, screen time, energy levels, sleeping patterns, and liquid intake. The next set is for self-care, so hygiene and skincare, exercise, work, and faith. And the final set is for leisure time, so entertainment, creativity, hobbies, and the time I spend with my cats, of which I have 12, by the way. That's my journal setup for the month of January, all done. Now for the final flip through. I really hope you enjoyed doing these spreads with me. If you like what you saw, subscribe, like, leave a comment. It really helps me out. Thank you for watching all the way to the end, and I hope to see you again soon. Have a good one.